Hey you guys, James here. Okay, next series of videos we're going to do is on breath. Okay, we're going to talk about deep diaphragmatic breath, belly breathing. Okay, belly breathing. All right, what happens? People get caught breathing high, and when you breathe high, it creates a feedback loop of anxiety. Why? Because when you get anxious or you get caught in a state of fight or flight, you start breathing high. Okay? All right. We don't want to breathe high. We want to breathe low. We want to teach our body to breathe down here. It's called belly breathing, right? Diaphragmatic breathing is breathing low and creating pressure, right? So you're creating pressure all the way around, and you're creating like a balloon on the inside of your core here. A balloon of pressure pushing out, and you're engaging your core and pushing back in. Okay? All right. If you're not used to doing this kind of breath work, then we're going to take you through the steps that teach you how to do it. Okay? We're going to start with something called crocodile breath. I'm going to refer you guys to the FMS guys, Functional Movement Systems. They do a good video on crocodile breath. We're going to do it here. You can also refer to yoga. Crocodile breath is an old yoga breathing technique, and this is where we're going to start. Crocodile breath. For obvious reasons, yeah, crocodile breath, you're pushing your belly into the floor, okay? We're not breathing high. We're breathing down into our belly, and we're using the floor as a feedback system. I'm going to put my hands right here on his back, and I'm going to cue him to push towards the ceiling. And as you can see, he is lifting when he breathes, okay? This is what we want, all right? This is a form of conditioning, okay? It's going to take time, okay? But if you do it every day, 5 minutes a day, you will develop good breathing habits, all right? Okay. Now I'm going to pin the sides in, and I'm going to have him push into my hands with his breath. Yes, okay? This is deep belly breathing, and he's using the floor as a feedback system, okay? All right, this is where we're going to start. Not complicated. You're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, okay? You're going to take about, 6 breaths a minute on average. Okay, don't worry too much about how many breaths a minute you're getting, but roughly 6 breaths a minute, okay? And I will stay right here with a client, and I'll hold their back down for about 5 minutes. I'm not putting a lot of pressure in there, just enough where he can feel his belly pushing the floor away and his back pushing my hand towards the ceiling. And then I'll come back in here and I'll squeeze his sides, all right? So if you're a trainer or a sports medicine practitioner, yeah, this is a good way to get your clients breathing correctly again, okay? And this is where we start. This is the first breathing exercise we're going to do. We're going to move on to some more. Now, the next part of diaphragmatic breath, yeah, okay, we did the crocodile breath on the floor. We learned to use the floor as a feedback system. We learned to use my hands as a feedback system, right? Okay. The next thing we're going to do is just diaphragmatic breath standing. How do we do this? We do the same thing. We breathe down into our belly. But what you're going to do is you're going to engage your abs. You're going to tighten up. Pretend like you're telling your little brother to punch you in the stomach, and you're going to show him how strong you are and you can resist that punch. Okay? That's what you're doing. You're engaging your abs all the way around. There's a muscle called transverse abdominis that comes all the way around. All right? You're going to engage those and breathe into them. So you're not breathing high, you're breathing low. The other thing you do is you're going to do a Kegel. Yeah? You're going to engage your pelvic floor like you're trying not to go to the bathroom. Okay? 10%. Okay? Now, if you have incontinence or issues with incontinence, yeah, I want you to try and engage more, like 20 or 30%. Okay? As you connect your breath work to your pelvic floor, you're going to back that off from 30 to 20 and down to 10%. And you're just holding a soft Kegel, like you're trying not to go to the bathroom. Okay? So the next step is You do your deep diaphragmatic breathing. You engage your pelvic floor like you're trying not to go to the bathroom, okay? And you breathe. That's it. That's the exercise, okay? What I like to do, I like to sit down and do it. Relax a little bit. And I just sit down in a chair and I push my air down here. I can use my own hands as a feedback system, pushing them into the belly. And remember, I'm engaging my pelvic floor, so I'm squeezing about 10% as if I'm trying not to go to the bathroom, okay? All right, and again, it just looks like this. Imagine you're filling up a balloon down here, right? Okay, that's diaphragmatic breath, okay? So we did crocodile breath, and then after crocodile breath, we advanced on to diaphragmatic breath. The only difference is that you're engaging your pelvic floor now, okay? If you want to engage your pelvic floor when you're doing crocodile breath, you can. Sometimes that's too much to think about, just focusing on the breath while doing crocodile breath, and then focusing on breath and the pelvic floor while standing and sitting while doing your diaphragmatic breathing, okay? All right, you guys. All right, you guys, the third breathing exercise following the diaphragmatic breath, again, it's going to be diaphragmatic breath, but we're going to do it from a plank position, okay? If you can't plank, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you a few different ways to do this. All right, I'm down here in the plank position, okay? From the plank position, you're going to do your diaphragmatic breathing. If planking is too difficult for you, come down to your knees, okay? The whole idea here now is that the transverse abdominis is completely engaged, all right? And what you're gonna do, you're gonna plank, and you're gonna do your deep diaphragmatic breath. Okay, you're doing your 10% Kegel, or engagement of the pelvic floor, trying not to go to the bathroom, okay? And then, again, deep diaphragmatic breathing. And so on, okay? All right. If you can hold the plank for 5 minutes, that's awesome. If you can't, you can drop to your knees, okay? If you can't do it for 5 minutes, maybe hold that plank for a minute, do the deep diaphragmatic breath, take a break, do it for another minute, and so on. See if you can work up to 5 minutes of deep diaphragmatic breathing from the plank. You don't have to do it all the way through. You can break it up into 1 minute increments if you'd like. Okay, you guys, here's an option to the plank. Some people are just not strong enough to plank, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a ball, physio ball. We're going to go tall. We're going to get into posture from our knees. Okay, if you need to know what posture is, go check out our video we did on posture. All right, you're going to go tall. You're going to push down into the ball, I don't know, 20%. You're going to go tall, and you're going to breathe. You're doing deep diaphragmatic breathing down here, okay? You're engaging your pelvic floor about 10%. Why are we pushing down on the ball? Pushing down engages the abs, okay? It's very much like doing a plank, but it's an easier way to do it. If you don't have the strength to do a plank right now, you go tall, push down into the ball, and again, I'd like to see you do 5 minutes. It's hard to hold this down for 5 minutes and do diaphragmatic breathing for 5 minutes, okay? If you can, awesome. If you can't, break it down into 5-minute increments. If 5 minutes is too much, give me a minute. A minute of diaphragmatic breathing every day is better than nothing. I'd like to see you work up to 5 minutes, okay? All right, we're going on to the next exercise for diaphragmatic breathing, and we call it pulsing, okay? Basically what you're going to do is you're going to sit down on a physio ball. You're going to get into good posture, yeah? You're going to bounce lightly, and you're going to do your diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, what does this do? Bouncing just pulses the core a little bit. The core is doing this, yeah? It's soft bouncing. But by bouncing and standing tall, you're reflexively engaging your abs. It's kind of like doing the plank or pushing down in the ball like we did in the last exercise, all right? Okay, super simple. You're breathing about 6 breaths a minute. You're breathing down here, you're not breathing high, right? And you're engaging your pelvic floor about 10%, i.e. a Kegel, okay? Just like this. Okay, this adds a dynamic element, right? The core is pulsing. In functional activities, your core is going to pulse. It's going to engage and let up and engage and let up, okay? Depending on what you're doing. Learning to breathe through a pulsing core helps in your daily functional activities involving breath. All right, you guys, our last installment on breath work is going to be doing it from a squat, okay? If you need to put something down to lift your heels, do so, okay? Some of us don't have the ankle mobility, so we have to lift our heels. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to get here like so, and you're going to drop down into a deep squat, and you're going to hang out, and you're going to do your breath work, okay? Again, we're looking at 5 minutes of breath work, right? About 6 breaths a minute, okay? And you're breathing through your nose. You're doing deep diaphragmatic breathing, and again, you're engaging your pelvic floor at about 10% while you do this. And it looks like this. Okay. Again, if you want, you can break it down into 1 minute increments, or you can do a full 5 minutes if you'd like. Do what works best for you. Maybe you want to start with a minute and work your way up, okay? This is an exercise. It's a form of conditioning, all right? Yeah, there you go. This is our breath work, okay? The idea here is to learn deep diaphragmatic breathing, and you can do it in any position. You can do it while walking, squatting, sitting, standing, running, however you want to do it. Okay. All right, you guys, so those are our breathing exercises, breathing techniques to improve breathing. What are we doing here? We're working on function, right? The first year of life. Breathing, rolling, crawling, getting up, and walking, all right? Breathing is the first step of that. Okay, we learn deep diaphragmatic breathing, and then we do it through rolling, crawling, getting up, and walking. And those are the videos that will be coming next. I appreciate your time. You guys enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to breathe. Thank you.